Hold on, hold on. You're live.
Good afternoon and welcome once again to Golden West College Baseball here on SoCalCollegeSports.com today. From Huntington Beach, the Rustlers welcome the Orange Coast College Pirates for the first of a four-game series. We are just underway here in the top of the first with the Pirates coming to bat and Caleb Turner on the mound, and the first pitch high and inside for a ball to Tyler Weaver. Rustlers have had a rough go of it out of the gate in 2021, dropping 7 of their first 8 games. This one swung on and lifted to right center. Back near the wall. This is going to be caught. Or I should say, yep. Okay, it is caught out in right center. Weaver retired as Orduno tracks down the long fly ball for out number 1.
So heads up, everybody, we are having some technical difficulties and trying to get to one of our cameras, so bear with us.
So 1 down for Turner, and that will bring up Drew Baltrowit, the designated hitter. Ball and no strikes on Baltrowit. Will be followed by David Morgan here in the top of the first. 4-game series this week between the longtime rivals, a swing and a miss, and now the count evened up, a ball and a strike on Baltrowit. Same two teams on Thursday. We'll have that game for you here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. And then Friday, it'll be a doubleheader from Orange Coast. Low and inside for a ball, 2 balls and a strike on Baltrowit. I mentioned the slow start for the Rustlers, dropping 7 of their first 8. Taking ball in there for a strike, 2 balls, 2 strikes down Baltrowit. So they hope to right the ship here this week against the Pirates, but don't figure it to get any easier. Orange Coast off to a fast start. They're 6-1-1 on the young season, and they're one of 4 teams within a single game in the standings. Fly ball left field, and that's Manzo who has it for the out. So 2 up and 2 down to get things started here in the top of the first. So Baltrowit retired on the fly out, and that'll bring up Morgan with the bases empty. It's a tale of a first division and second division, at least so far in 2021, with the 4 teams at the top of the Orange Empire Conference separated by just 1 game between 7-1 and 6-2. And then a quartet of teams a few games back already after 2 weeks. So Cypress, Saddleback, this one swung on and driven to left. Back and
Foul.
just foul. Okay. Yeah, Morgan gave it a ride, and that's not a big surprise. Morgan's got the power to take it out of here. David Morgan already with a couple of home runs on the season in just 24 at-bats, but he's down in the count now, no balls and 2 strikes. Mentioned Saddleback, Santa Ana, Orange Coast, Cypress, 4 teams within 1 game after 8 games here in 2021 at the top.
Just to give you an idea of where that hit, about 5 feet to the left of that foul pole.
Of the 345 sign down the left field line, and Morgan very nearly took it out of here. No balls and 2 strikes. Turner ready. Here's the pitch. Curveball. Jammed him. Just a little floater on the infield, and Casas has it to retire the side. So a strong top of the first for Caleb Turner and the Rustlers. 3 up, 3 down through half an inning. Orange Coast nothing. Golden West coming to bat. You're watching Rustler Baseball here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. So, Mike, you just want to bring up the field mic when I can go, or? At the top of the Orange Empire Conference, he will face Steven Casas, Sebastian Orduño, and Cole Andel Volgi. We're in the bottom of the first. Casas makes the move from third base to shortstop today as Drew Ramos continues to juggle his lineup. Saw a few changes last week in the series against Saddleback, and some guys moving around. You also might notice, for those that have been following the Rustlers, Logan Galena behind the plate, and Cole Andel Volgi will get a day off from the catching duties. He's still in the lineup as the designated hitter. Casas stands in. The first pitch from Rylick, high for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Casas, the freshman, takes that one for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Casas out of Marina High School. Fastball high, 2 balls and a strike. Chris Mayer calling the balls and strikes behind the plate. John Vasiglia, the umpire at the bases. 2-1, Rylick ready. At the belt. Count evened up, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Had a chance to talk to Nate Johnson, second-year head coach for Orange Coast College, and talked about Rylick. And when you look at the numbers for Rylick through the first 2 starts, they don't jump out at you. Back up the middle and into center past the diving David Morgan, leadoff man aboard for Golden West. Said Rylick, just a classic case of a guy who's pitching very well, but he's just made a couple of mistakes in his 2 starts, maybe 3 or 4 bad pitches in 2 starts, but they've come at the worst possible time, it would seem, runners on base, and seem to do the maximum damage to negatively affect Rylick's numbers. But overall, they couldn't be more pleased with the way that Michael Rylick has pitched through his first couple of starts. And the sophomore again gets the call today. First pitch swung on, lined into left field. This is going to drop in for a base hit. Casas rounding second. He'll head to third as they finally recover foul territory and get it back in. It's going to go down as a double for Orduño. Watch the replay here. And this one just over the head of Morgan, and then some trouble between Morgan and Teal. Recovering. And good base running for the Rustlers as Orduño and Casas keep going. And they end up at second and third, so a huge scoring opportunity here for the Rustlers to grab an early lead. Second and third, nobody out, and that'll bring up Cole Andel Volgi in the lineup as the designated hitter, and he had a big cut and miss. No balls and a strike on Andel Volgi. Andel Volgi. In his freshman season out of J. Sarah High School, he's been busy. Caught a little bit of Cole Andel Volgi over the summer, playing some summer ball in San Bernardino in our coverage. 1-1. Rylick in a jam early. Again, a cut and a miss from Andel Volgi. Andel Volgi coming in just 2 for 21 on the season. No home runs, 1 run batted in, but a big opportunity here to get himself off the schneid. Maybe drive in a couple. But he comes up empty here. Fastball swung on and missed, and a big strikeout for Rylick for out number 1. That'll bring up Julian Boyd. And Boyd swinging the hot stick in the lineup for the Rustlers over the first couple of weeks. As up and down the lineup, the Rustlers have had some struggles. But Boyd's off to a good start. He gets a big chance here and a wave and a miss. There you get a look at the slider from Rylick. It's fastball, slider primarily for Michael Rylick. He'll mix in a change as well. But figure him to give the left-handed hitting Boyd a steady diet of sliders. Still Boyd shows he can hit it. And again, back to the slider, and this one lifted into center field. Long run for Martinez, and Martinez does track it down. Both runners will easily advance, so this will go down as a sacrifice fly for Boyd and a run batted in, and the Rustlers grab the 1-0 lead. So Boyd gives it a ride. It'll go down as a sac fly, and a run batted in. That's exactly what you're hoping for if you're the Rustlers. With a tough assignment here today against Orange Coast. They get themselves off to the quick start and get on the board and grab the lead. Slider outside for a ball to Logan Galena. Galena put a charge into one in our coverage on Friday in Game 2. In the loss to Saddleback in Game 2, but Galena took one out of here for a home run. Fastball high, 2 balls and no strikes. Galena out of Dana Hills High School. Sophomore, primarily works as the designated hitter in the lineup here for the Rustlers, but today he'll be behind the plate. Fastball high for a ball. So Galena way out in front, 3 balls and no strikes. Joe Yost waits on deck. Good fastball over for a strike. 3 balls and a strike. Full day of action in the Orange Empire Conference. The other 6 teams all in action, so we'll try to keep you up on the scores from those games. 3-1. Swung on, lifted to deep right, back to the wall. Forget about it. 2-run shot for Galena. The Rustlers now lead it 3-0. How about it? That's some power. That's a no-doubter. Well, a man on and Rylick down in the count 3-1, and he grooves one for Galena. Was looking fastball and got one and took it out. Meanwhile, that brings up Yost. Strike, and now a fastball over for another strike, and it's quickly no balls and 2 strikes on Joe Yost. Fast start for Golden West, a 3-0 lead here in the bottom of the first. Just off the outside corner. Rylick with a half a step to the dugout. But he'll still have some work to do on the third baseman, Joe Yost. 1-2 pitch. Good slider. Yost goes fishing. They'll throw down and finish it off. But Golden West with a big first, 3 runs on 3 hits, including a 2-run bomb from Logan Galena. Take you back through 1. Golden West 3. Orange Coast nothing. It's Rustler Baseball at SoCalCollegeSports.com. Caleb Turner staked to a 3-0 lead as he goes to work in the top of the second. Coming into action today, Turner was 0-2 on the season in 8 innings, an ERA of 10.13. It allowed 11 hits, walked 3, struck out 8. For the first time, he can work with a lead, and he takes something off and a wave and a miss from Chaz Martinez. No balls and a strike. It'll be Martinez, Arboleda, and Funky. And again, Martinez goes looking for one out of the zone. He's in the hole now, no balls and 2 strikes. Take a look at this one again. See the good sinking action. And Turner way up on Martinez. Here's the 0-2. Went back to it. Ball and 2 strikes. Well, why not? Martinez, an interesting story. He's in center field today. And he swings a dangerous bat. He had a couple of home runs in Game 4 of the series last week for Orange Coast against Irvine Valley College. But Martinez takes that one high and away for a ball. Will be on the mound starting on Thursday. The left-handed pitcher for the Pirates. And he has an electric fastball that can reach the mid-90s. And if that sounds a little bit familiar, maybe look no further than his likely opponent on Thursday. Bouncing ball right side. It's Lamar, who will go to Turner covering to retire Martinez, but it'll be Tiedemann on the mound. Ricky Tiedemann, also pretty good fastball for Golden West. So that will be a fun pitching matchup between 2 fireballers on Thursday, and we'll have that game for you here on SoCalCollegeSports.com.
And
Martinez retired.
Hopefully we'll have Tony Barbone.
As if you needed more. We'll have Bones joining us on the broadcast as well. So that'll be fun.
It always is with Bones.
Fouled back for a strike by Arboleda. No balls and a strike. 1 down. 4 in a row retired to start for Caleb Turner. Turner not completely indifferent from Rylick in that the numbers not where he would like them to be, certainly, through a couple of starts, but we've had the opportunity to watch Turner, and he's had stretches where he's been quite effective. So just a question of finishing it off, maybe stringing together a few more good innings. That one low and away, and he seems to be off to that kind of start here through the first 4 batters. Arboleda, meanwhile, red hot in the first couple of weeks for the Pirates at the plate. Outside, 3 balls and a strike now on Arboleda. And when I say red hot for Arboleda, how about 13 for 21 on the season? That's a .619 average. 1 home run, 6 runs batted in. 3-1. Fastball driven to center. Back is Orduño, and it's going to one-hop the wall and be another hit for Arboleda. This will go down as a ground rule double. Well, you get yourself down in the count 3-1 to a guy who's hitting .619. This is what you're likely to see. Arboleda gets a pitch he can handle, and he drives it to right center for a 1-out double. First hit for the Pirates. They have a runner at second with 1 down, and Nolan Funky, the third baseman, coming to the plate. Funky comes in batting .500. He's 9 for 18 on the season. And how about this for Nolan Funky? 18 at-bats on the season. He's already got 10 runs batted in. So that speaks to how many runners have been getting on base for the Pirates, but also how timely the hits have been for Funky, who's coming up big over the first couple of weeks. Let's try to set the lineup for you in the field for Golden West. Evan Manzo in left, Sebastian Orduño in center, Julian Boyd, the right fielder. Turner ready. First pitch to Funky. Low for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes, and boy, it's constant pressure on Caleb Turner on the mound. The Pirates typically loaded up and down the lineup, and Turner retires the first 4, but he gets down to Arboleda, and you see a ball that's hit hard, and you just cannot get behind these hitters. It's constant pressure. Pitching to a lineup like this, wave and a miss. As Turner takes a little something off, count evened up at a ball and a strike. Joe Yost at third. Steven Casas moves to short. Gunnar McGrath in the lineup at second for Golden West. Christian Lamar at first. Logan Galinas behind the plate. Caleb Turner on the mound. 3-0 here in the top of the second. Happy you've joined us for Rustler Baseball here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Curveball just low for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. Let's take a look at this one, and that was close. Two balls and a strike. On funky Brendan Guy. The catcher waiting on deck. Turner checks the runner. Good fastball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now on funky. We'll give you one more quick look at this one. This is a great location. On the fastball at the knees. Funky, one of the third-year freshmen for the Pirates. In on the hands again, but gets by Casas and into left. This will be a base hit for Funky on the play. Arboleda can only advance to third. This is a really good pitch working inside. And just great placement if you're a Pirate fan. Because this one just manages to slip by a diving Casas and into left field. And that's tough. But there's a little bit of a luck factor sometimes in this game. And Funky perhaps picks up a fortunate base hit there, but the Pirates will take it. They're down 3-0. Now runners at the corners. And a first pitch strike to Brendan Guy. We talk about the importance of getting ahead of the hitters in a dangerous lineup. And the Rustlers need to use some good fortune as well. This is not the kind of team you want to give extra outs to. Ball and a strike. Now on Guy. Ryan O'Halloran, the first baseman, will be next. One pitch, low and away. 2 balls and a strike on Guy. Freshman out of Mission Viejo High School. 2 balls and a strike. Guy sharing the catching duties here in 2021 with Emilio Morales. Interestingly, Guy, a high school teammate of Michael Rylick. So those two, unsurprisingly, work very well together. And Guy will get the call behind the plate when Rylick's on the mound. 3 balls and a strike. Turner ready. Blows it by him. There goes the runner down to second. The tag, not in time. So a stolen base for Funky. Let's watch on the replay here. Good fastball, good ball for Galinas to handle. And the throw just a tad high. And that gives just enough time for Funky to slide in safely. So runners at second and third.
3-2.
3-2. Thank you, Michael. Payoff pitch. Got him. Good fastball from Turner. And a big strikeout for the Rustlers. Two down, and Ryan O'Halloran coming to the plate. Turner kicks and delivers. Ground ball to short. Casas, long throw, and they got him. Let's take a look at the replay here as Casas moving to his right. And on one hop, and a great job by Lamar at first with the pick. And that gets the Rustlers out of the inning. The Pirates put 2 on, but come up empty. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 left on base. Heading to the bottom of the second, Golden West with the 3-0 lead. It's Rustler Baseball on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Evan Manzo will lead things off in the bottom of the second, to be followed by Christian Lamar and then Gunnar McGran. 7, 8, and 9 in the lineup against left-hander Michael Rylick. Fouled back to the screen for Manzo. No balls and a strike. Let's try to set the Orange Coast defense for you. Ricky Teal in left, Chaz Martinez in center, Kerry Arboleda in right, Nolan Funky at third, David Morgan at short, Tyler Weaver at second. Foul tip and a strike, so no balls and 2 strikes. Ryan O'Halloran in first, Brendan Guy behind the plate, and Michael Rylick on the mound. No balls, 2 strikes. Rylick ready, here's the pitch. Swung on and missed, and again, Guy will throw down to get Manzo. 3rd strikeout through 1 1/3 for Rylick. Unfortunately for the Pirates, also mixed in there. 3 hits, including a 2-run homer by Galena. So a 3-0 lead for Golden West as Christian Lamar will come to bat. Rylick's first offering low for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes on Lamar. Talked already about Lamar and his path outside of baseball, talking about a star in the classroom, 4.0 and 4.0 grade point average. High chopper back toward the mound. It's Rylick who will take it. And already plenty of D1 offers coming the way of Christian Lamar. You bring obviously a lot of talent on the diamond, but the academic bona fides are there as well. 2 balls, or I should say 2 down. Bases empty, and that'll bring up Gunnar McGran. So McGran gets the call at second base, where we've seen Zane Parmenter, Miles Jenkins already this season as well. So a crowded position for Golden West. No balls and a strike on McGran in his freshman season out of Santa Margarita High School. 0-1 pitch. Slider just outside for a ball and a strike to McGran. Take it back, and a little bit of a reaction there from Rylick too, and I got to tell you, I think he hit his spot on that one, but he didn't get the call. Meanwhile, a swing and a miss as he goes back to the slider. McGran now in a hole. Cold strike 3. McGran down on strikes 1, 2, 3 for Rylick in the bottom of the second. We're through 2. Golden West, a 3-0 lead over Orange Coast. You're watching Golden West College Baseball here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Top of the third. From Golden West College, it'll be Ricky Teal to be followed by Tyler Weaver and Drew Baltrowit for Orange Coast. First pitch to Teal on the outside corner for a strike. So no balls and a strike. Teal, an interesting case. He's been swinging the bat very well early in this season for Orange Coast, 6 for 13. But the way that he hits the ball to all fields, and with his great speed, he really functions as another leadoff hitter in this Pirate lineup, a natural for the 9 position in the lineup, as he can consistently get on base for a very dangerous top of the order for Orange Coast. So Nate Johnson, the coaching staff, very happy to get Teal into the lineup a little bit more and give themselves a little more versatility. Dangerous at all times if he can get on base. And he's been doing just that so far with an average of 462. 1-2 here as Turner tries the breaking ball, but Teal lays off. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Turner a little bit of trouble in the second, but he was able to get out of it. After putting 2 on, it was a big strikeout. Brendan Guy, and then some good work in the field to get O'Halloran. And that's the kind of good fortune and good execution that the Rustlers haven't always been getting through this first couple of weeks, as that one bounces and hits Teal. So they will send him down to first. It'll be a hit batsman, as Golden West has been in a number of close games over their first 8 games, but haven't always had the breaks their way. But getting out of a jam like that, you look back on an inning like that, and if Golden West can get the win here today, that's a kind of big moment that often leads to wins. See if Turner can keep it going. He's got himself in a little bit of a spot here, putting Teal on. First pitch swung on and fouled on the right side, but playable. And it's Galinas going down to his knees, but coming up with it. So not without just a touch of drama, but Weaver retired. Nice play by Galinas. Teal still at first, and that'll bring up Baltrowit, who flied to left his first time up. Turner working quickly, good curveball, but doesn't get the call.
Pretty close.
Well, I think it's safe to say, as we're watching consistency and Chris Mayer behind the plate today, that we're not seeing either pitcher really get that outside strike. That was right on the outside corner, but they're not going to get that call today. So 2 balls and no strikes. And you look for Chris Mayer, and I guess the only question left is, will he maintain the consistency? And so far, he most certainly has. But you can see both pitchers, I think Turner and certainly Rylick, on a couple of pitches on that outside corner, thinking that they were going to get the call, but not getting it. So they have to adjust. And again, there is a pitch just off the outside corner. And these are very, very close. And give the Pirate hitters a lot of credit, because there's an adjustment there as well in Baltrowit, taking these 3 pitches that might be pitches you need to swing at in another day. But he's able to take those for a ball. And now he's got the walk.
What exactly is he looking at? What?
I thought the first pitch and the third pitch were incredibly close, and certainly pitches that could have been called strikes. And I've seen called strikes. Not so much. I thought that was a pretty good call as we looked at the replay. It was a little bit low and outside. But, yeah, first and third, that's a pitch that I think sometimes we see called for a strike, and it just really boils down to what's the strike zone on a day. Umpires will vary just slightly on what they're calling. And I think, Mike, you hear it at any level of baseball, really the consistent demand from hitters and pitchers is, as long as it's consistent, then you can live with it. But you need to know what's a strike and what's a ball on both sides. In the dirt, but blocked nicely by Galena, a ball and a strike. One down. 2 on for David Morgan, who lined to short his first time up. Turner ready. Here's the 1-1. Morgan takes that for a ball. 2-1 on David Morgan. Morgan on the season came in batting .333, 8 for 24. Talked about the 2 home runs and 7 runs batted in. So he's got some pop. Turner ready. Fastball laced but foul. Well, we saw Turner bust it inside to Morgan his first time up. You can't really saw off a metal bat, but that was the idea. It ended up just being an easy floater for Casas at short. See if he comes back inside. He just did there. 2-2. Outside for a ball. Full count on Morgan and Chaz Martinez. Another power hitter waiting on deck. Turner has the sign. Here's the payoff pitch. Tried the curveball inside, and that gets Morgan. So a couple of hit batsmen in the inning. And without a hit, Orange Coast has loaded him up here in the top of the third. And it's nervous time even with the 3-0 lead for the Rustlers. It's just not the kind of lineup where you can keep on putting runners on base. And that indeed will bring a visit. They'll come out and talk to Caleb Turner. Well, through the first 2 innings, the control had been excellent for Caleb Turner. A couple of strikeouts, no walks. A couple of hits, but here in the third, the Pirates have been able to do it with the bat on the shoulder. A couple of hit batsmen and a walk, and they've got him loaded with 1 down. And the dangerous Chaz Martinez will stand in from the left side. Turner fanned him his first time up. But you got Martinez at the plate who had a couple of home runs last Friday. And then you got the insanely hot Kerry Arboleda waiting on deck with an average now approaching 700. Breaking ball for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes on Martinez. So this is about as tough a spot as you can be in if you're Caleb Turner and the Rustlers. With one down and the bases loaded. There is Martinez. And we're ready. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Tailing outside for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes. And for Turner, I don't think he can just groove one here, because Martinez might hit one that won't land for a while.
Huh.
Good fastball on the outside corner. 2 balls and a strike now on Martinez. See if Turner can get one on the ground. The Rustlers can turn 2. Get out of the inning right here. Just outside. He tried the outside corner again, and that's not a call that you're going to get today. Certainly. 3 balls and a strike on Martinez. Here's the pitch. Ball 4. Pirates are on the board. Turner walks Martinez. And that'll bring up Arboleda. A double his first time up. $14 hits on the season now for Arboleda in 22 at-bats. And 6 of those 14 hits have gone for extra bases. On the ground to third. They go to second for one. The relay in time. 5-4-3. And the Rustlers are out of the inning. Watch the work by Yost. That took him a little bit of a hop on him. But the good glove and then the pivot from McGran. Top of the order due up for Golden West in the bottom of the third. Casas, Orduno, and Andel Volgi. Casas with a single his first time up. Eventually came around to score on the Boyd sacrifice fly. Casas now 5 for 23 on the season, just inside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. A couple of different players in the lineup, and Drew Ramos also juggling the order somewhat today as Casas moves up to the top of the order. It's a ball and a strike. Boyd moves from the 3 spot down to 4. Ramos continuing to look for the right combination. Ball in the outside corner for Rylick. A ball and 2 strikes now on Casas. Big innings in the second and third for the Rustlers in the field. Pirates threatened in the second but come up empty, and then they were all set, looking like they might put up a big inning in the third. But the pitcher's best friend, I'll say. That one squibbed foul. So a ball and 2 strikes remains to count on Casas.
Actually, I think it was a strikeout. Let's see if we can
okay,
go
are they
back
going
and
to
see
no
this.
contact there? So Casas going to end up at first as this one. Watch the replay here. Yeah. And no contact, and this one gets far enough away from Guy.
Yep.
Casas makes it to first. So the Rustlers will have a base runner on the drop third strike. Now let's see if Golden West can take advantage. First pitch to Orduno. Paints the inside corner. No balls and a strike. Sebastian with a double his first time up. Orduno in his freshman season out of St. John Bosco High School. Just an electric talent for Golden West. Very excited about what Orduno might be able to do here. With the double, he's now 7 for 23 on the season. 4 of those hits coming for extra bases. No balls and a strike. Here's the pitch. Ground ball to short. He'll go to second for 1 and turn 2 on Orduno. 6-4-3, a tailor-made double play ball. And the Pirates able to execute. Morgan to Weaver to O'Halloran. That erases the base runner. 2 down. Base is empty, and Cole Andel Volgi, who struck out his first time up for Golden West. The slider in for a strike. For Rylick, who has settled himself nicely after the home run by Galena. 3 of the first 5 had reached base, and really 4 of the first 5 hit the ball hard. Boyd drove one to the track for a sacrifice fly right before the Galena home run, but since then, 6 in a row retired if you count the drop third strike on Casas. So Rylick settling into a groove. And you gotta believe, if you're a Rustler fan looking at this Pirate lineup, you're gonna need more than 3 before it's all said and done here today. Outside for a ball and 2 strikes. Swung on and missed. Guy will throw down to finish it off. Rylick gets Andel Volge. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and nobody left on base. We're through 3 complete. Golden West with the 3-1 lead over Orange Coast on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Nolan Funky, Brendan Guy, and Ryan O'Halloran due up for Orange Coast here in the top of the 4th. 3-1 in favor of Golden West. Funky singled his first time up back in the 2nd. And with the hit, Funky now 10 for 19 on the season. I know it's early. Short hop by Yost. Long throw in time. So Joe Yost. More good glove work at 3rd. Watch this one. On the short hop. And Lamar. Say, what is that from Moneyball? Picking machine. Over at first, Christian Lamar. So Turner gets a little help behind him. And he'll take it, 1 down. And that'll bring up Brendan Guy. Fastball on the inside corner for called strike 1. Guy struck out his first time up. Turner ready, kicks and delivers. Curveball, lined but right to Lamar. And Lamar has it for out number 2. So again, the location here, as you watch the replay, on the outside corner, this just off the end of the bat. And Lamar right there. So good location from Turner. The line out makes it 2 down, bases empty. O'Halloran swings and drives this one to deep left. Manzo back, looks up, it's gone. Ryan O'Halloran, and I think Turner there thinking about trying to get the fastball over in an 0-1 count, and O'Halloran went up there looking fastball. And deposits it over the left field wall. Well, he was a first ball fastball hitter on that at bat.
Fact.
So Orange Coast creeps a little closer at 3-2 on the O'Halloran home run. And that'll bring up Ricky Teal. Teal, the bunt wide of third for strike one. Well, I suppose for Rustler fans, if you're going to give one up, at least the bases were empty. And the Rustlers still have the lead. Good fastball from Turner. And it's quickly no balls and 2 strikes on Teal, who reached after being hit by a pitch in the third, came around to score. Martinez was walked with the bases loaded. Turner ready. Here's the 0-2 to Teal. Shot foul. For O'Halloran, that's his first home run of the season, but it comes in just his 9th at bat. Sky high, shallow center, and it's Orduno. Moving in, and he's got it to retire the side. But the solo shot from O'Halloran draws the Pirates a little closer. We head to the bottom of the 4th. Golden West with the 3-2 lead. It's Rustler baseball here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Boyd, Galena, and Yost due up for Golden West here in the bottom of the 4th. 1-run game. Happy you've joined us for Rustler baseball here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. These two teams will be back at it on Thursday. We'll have that game for you. 2 o'clock start. First pitch swung on from Boyd. He lines it into right for a base hit. So Boyd aboard with a leadoff single. Another hit for Julian Boyd, who continues to swing the bat well. That'll bring up Galena. He's about as hot as you can get. Home run Friday. His first time up today. Another home run. First pitch from Rylick, high and away for a ball. One ball, no strikes. Galena with his second home run. He's got 2 of the 3 for the Rustlers on the season now. 1 ball and 1 strike. Orduno with the other. Good speed on the base pass with Boyd. And O'Halloran hold him on at first. So the hole on the right side potentially for Galena to work with. So Rylick will go to first. team, Golden West, with 5 steals and 8 attempts over their first 8 games. Breaking ball high, 2 balls and a strike. Back to the slider for Rylick, and it misses outside for a ball. 3 balls and a strike. So far, Boyd not going anywhere, and that's not a huge surprise. Obviously, you don't want to run yourself out of an inning with a guy who's swinging the bat the way that Galena is of late. There he goes, and it's outside for a ball. So runners at first and second after Galena draws a walk. So the Rustlers with a chance to extend down the 1-run lead with 2 on and nobody out. Joe Yost will be the batter. Yost struck out his first time up. Can't get a whole lot more local than Joe Yost out of Huntington Beach High School.
Maybe
Not exactly
Marina.
just up the street, but yeah, but nearby.
It's down Golden West. Golden West in Yorktown, I believe.
You're pretty local if you could ride your bike, you know, to the game, I think.
Depends how far you want to ride your bike.
I'm thinking Joe could do it. 2 balls, no strikes. Now the count. Manzo waits on deck, and Guy will head out and talk to Michael Rylick and the Pirates after trailing 3-0. Single runs in the 3rd and the 4th. They're back within 1 run, but here come the Rustlers. And Rylick, all of a sudden, after he had worked himself into a good groove,
here comes Tim Matz.
having some difficulty here in the bottom of the 4th, and here comes Tim Matz, longtime pitching coach here for Orange Coast College.
Yeah. Formerly of Santa Ana. He was the pitching coach with Don Snedden when we started out. And then when Don Snedden moved on, Tim came over to work at OCC,
absolutely.
and we've known Tim for about a decade now.
Yeah, so I should say, yeah, I was conflating the two. He was a long-time pitching coach, but you're exactly right, Michael. It was at Santa Ana for a while, and then he has been here for several years now at Orange Coast. But yeah, we've known him for even longer than that. So yeah, long-time friend here, and we really enjoy our opportunities to catch up with Tim whenever we're gonna have the Pirates on in for a strike. So Rylick able to settle down and get one over. 2-1 on Yost. Boyd at second, Galena at first. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 4th. Rylick ready, kicks and deals. Yost showing bunt, and it's foul. So 2 balls and 2 strikes on Joe Yost. Yost now 2 for 12 overall on the season. But you get a sense already here in the first 4 innings of part of the reason why Joe Yost is in the lineup, because we have seen a couple of strong plays at third base, shoring up what was already pretty solid infield defense for the Rustlers. Good cut. He fouls it back to the screen. But brings an excellent glove for the Rustlers into the lineup, and he's got an opportunity here with a couple on to keep it going at the plate. 2-2. And he went after the slider again. Did he get a piece?
He did.
Okay, so the foul tip will get Yost another opportunity. Meanwhile, he does appear to be laboring to get back to his feet, and no doubt this got a piece of him. I don't know if it was the follow through of the bat or the ball, but something got him.
He got a piece of the slider, and then the slider got a piece of him.
So they'll come out and take a quick look at Joe Yost, who's back to his feet. That can't feel too good.
No.
So no movement yet. And keep an eye on Joe Yost, and he'll try to walk it off. Count still 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, I've got it at 2-2. Is that right, Michael?
2-2, yes, sir.
Okay. So Yost is ready. He will have to try and shake it off and go back to work. Rylick from the belt, and he'll step off. Evan Manzo in the on-deck circle for Golden West. There is, looks like, some activity in the Pirate bullpen. I believe from that angle you can see a right-hander up. For Orange Coast. 2-2 from Rylick, just high. So 3-2 on Yost. Rylick ready quickly. Fly ball down the left field line. Teal moving over, and he has time, and he's got it. So Yost retired. 1 down. The runners remain at first and second, and that'll bring up Evan Manzo. Manzo, a freshman out of Mater Dei. Struck out his first time up on the season. Manzo now 2 for 13 at the plate. Pretty tough gauntlet for the first few weeks for Golden West here in 2021. It starts with Santa Ana. A wave and a miss. 4-strike 1 on Manzo. You start with Santa Ana, then you get Saddleback. Now it's Orange Coast. That's 3 of the top 4 in the conference here in 2021. So the schedule doing the Rustlers no favors out of the gate. No balls and a strike. Here's the pitch to Manzo. That one gets away, but both runners will stay. Rylick from the stretch. Here's the pitch. Change and a wave and a miss from Manzo. And it's now a ball and 2 strikes. That's a great job by Rylick. Taking a little something off. He had Manzo out in front. One and two in the dirt. 2-2. Now a late break for third. The throw down. And they got him. Let's watch here. And this a late decision from Julian Boyd as this one gets away. And I'll tell you, that really didn't get away from Guy at all. And I almost wonder if Guy was able to bait Boyd into breaking there. Because as soon as Boyd made a move, boy, that ball was in Guy's hands very quickly. And the throw beat Boyd by a couple of steps down to third. And a swing and a miss from Manzo. And just like that, the Pirates are out of the inning. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base. We head to the top of the 5th. Golden West leading Orange Coast 3-2. It's Rustler Baseball on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Weaver, Beltrowit, and Morgan, top of the order, due up for Orange Coast in the top of the 5th. 3-2 game here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. First pitch from Turner, tails inside for a ball. Weaver's 0 for 2, flied to center and fouled out. An opportunity goes by the wayside in the bottom of the 4th for the Rustlers, who had a couple of runners on. But Boyd caught trying to advance to third on a wild pitch, and the subsequent strikeout, and the Pirates are up with it still a 1-run game. Good curveball in for a strike. 1-2 on Weaver. Weaver now 8 for 17 on the season. That even after going 0 for 2 so far today. Reaches out and lifts this one into shallow right. And it's McGran who will take it for out number 1. Well, back to the breaking ball for Turner. And Weaver just has to reach out and try and get a piece of that one. He's retired easily. That'll bring up Baltrowit, who's 0 for 1. Flied out and walked. Baltrowit, in our conversation with Nate Johnson, we get to different players in the lineup and talking a little bit about their path. And in baseball, first pitch swung on and a bouncing ball through for a base hit. McGran can't track it down. It's a hit for Baltrowit, and we get to the designated hitter position in our conversation, and Nate Johnson goes to about 4 or 5 different guys that he wants to talk about, as it's a very, very deep roster for Orange Coast, and he's got a number of guys up and down that roster who swing the bat well. And Drew Baltrowit's name was one that came up, and he's in the lineup today, and he's got a base hit. So 1 down, a runner at first, and David Morgan will be the batter. Line to short his first time up, hit by a pitch his last time up. Morgan, 8 for 25 on the season. Fastball high. Ball and no strikes. Well, after the 1-2-3 first, Turner's done a pretty good job of scattering the hits and walks, at least, and limiting the Pirates to a couple of 1-run innings. If he can keep the crooked numbers off the board, that's certainly what you want to do against a formidable lineup. 2 balls and no strikes on Morgan, and so far through 4 1/3, Turner's been able to do that. Golden West with the 3-2 lead. Once more through the heart of the order here for Turner and the Rustlers. Here's the 2-0. Fastball over for a strike. Ball threw it away from first. 2-1 pitch from Turner. Swung on and missed. Well, it's a pretty good fastball if you can blow it by David Morgan. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Right back to the fastball, and he got him. Well, Turner down in the count, 2 balls and no strikes. But able to just rear back and blow it by Morgan on the last couple of strikes. He gets the strikeout, 2 down. Baltrowit still at first, and Chaz Martinez will be the batter. Martinez is 0 for 1, struck out and walked. But constant danger here for Caleb Turner. It's Martinez with excellent power, and he fouls this one down the right field line. No balls and a strike. And there is Chaz Martinez, who will get the start on the mound on Thursday, but he's in the lineup here in center field today. 1 ball and 1 strike. Now the count. Well, not too many center fielders and pitchers in history. Got close. Right field pitcher. Going all the way back to Babe Ruth. What's Ohtani? Isn't he ordinarily in the lineup as a designated hitter? Michael?
Yes. DH pitcher.
Swung on and missed by Martinez, 1-2. What a story that is. Saw something about Ohtani in the paper
He's pretty
today.
good.
He's leading the league in is it home runs or is it hitting right now? But it's an even more noteworthy story because he's literally one of the very best hitters, along with great stuff on the mound. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
It'd be great if he could lead the league and hit batsmen in addition to.
No, I think it is home runs because they were talking about that. It was the first time since Babe Ruth or something that somebody had accomplished something along those lines. In the dirt, late break for second, the throw down in time. They'll get Baltruitt at second. The Rustlers are out of the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. Halfway through this one, Golden West, a 3-2 lead over Orange Coast. You're watching Golden West College baseball here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Heading to the bottom of the 5th, Lamar, McGran, and the top of the order, Stephen Casas, due up for Golden West. Taking a look at some of the other scores, and it's a day of potential upsets, at least as far as the standings go. High chopper back to the mound, and Rylick over to first to get Lamar 1 pitch, 1 out in the 5th. Irvine Valley leading at Fullerton 7-2. They're in the top of the 4th. And how about this from Santa Ana? Mount San Antonio College leading 12-0.
Wow.
Over the Duns. I took a close look at the screen to make sure I wasn't reading that wrong. Lord knows it's possible, but that is the score. 12-0 in the bottom of the 4th. Saddleback at Cypress. They're in the top of the 5th, and Saddleback leads 2-0. And how good did Saddleback look in our coverage last week as well? 1 ball and no strikes. They are outstanding this season. They have a matchup with Cypress, and that's a great matchup at the top of the Orange Empire Conference. Meanwhile, here it's 3-2. We're in the bottom of the 5th. Golden West with the lead. A ball and a strike on McGran. Strikeout victim, his first time up. Well, when you talk about the depth of the Orange Empire Conference, certainly we've been singing the praises of the 4 teams at the top who are off to the very fast start in Cypress, Saddleback, Orange Coast, Santa Ana. A lot of success, not just this year, but going back through the years in the Orange Empire Conference. But this is such a talented conference top to bottom. Let's see by the end of the year, some of those other teams could very easily work themselves very much into the fray. And maybe that starts today with a couple of those teams making statements to get themselves back into it. Starting right here with Golden West with the lead. 3-1, and that one fouled off. Count goes full on McGran. McGran didn't see a lot of action the first couple of weeks. Just 1 for 8 now on the season at the plate. But got into a couple of games last week against Saddleback and back in the lineup today. At second base, full count with Casas waiting on deck. Slider low, and that'll be ball 4 and a 1-out walk from McGran. And again, it's not hard to tell. Rylick, not exactly cryptic in his reaction, but again, you get the feeling for Michael Rylick that he hit the spot he wanted right there, but McGran able to take it, and it's called low for a ball, so a 1-out walk. And a great eye from McGran. That is not an easy pitch to take, but he does so and gets himself on. Casa swings and lifts this one to right. Playable for Arboleda. 2 down, and Orduno coming to the plate. Orduno doubled in the first, grounded into a double play in the third. Orduno with an average of 292 now on the season, up to the moment. First pitch swung on, ground ball to second. Weaver will go to first, and the Rustlers are done in the 5th. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left on base. Through 5 complete, Golden West. A 3-2 lead over Orange Coast. Rustler baseball here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. See the scores from around the Orange Empire Conference on the bottom of your screen. Martinez, who was at the plate when Baltruitt was thrown out trying to advance, will lead off the top of the 6th. Breaking ball from Turner outside for a ball. Martinez, Arboleda, and Funky for the Pirates. 3-2 in favor of Golden West. Turner ready. Good cut, and he fouled it straight back. 1 ball and 1 strike. Turner into the wind. Here's the pitch. Outside for a ball. 2-1 on Martinez. Third start of the year for Caleb Turner. And as he works into the 6th, this becomes, I believe, his longest outing of the season. To double check that. Misses high, another walk to Martinez. Turner just reluctant to give in to Chaz Martinez, and as we pointed out before, you certainly don't want to groove one to Chaz Martinez, who's got the power to take it out of any yard.
Pitching change.
And are they going to come and talk to Turner, and maybe this will be it to go back? Yeah, 5+. He did go 5 innings in the opener against Santa Ana. And by one batter, he goes just a little bit longer here as he starts the 6th. But the Rustlers will go to the bullpen. 1 on, nobody out in the top of the 6th. We'll come back and tell you about the new pitcher. It's Rustler Baseball here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. New pitcher Nick Merkin on for Golden West. And he will face Kerry Arboleda with a runner at first and nobody out.
Cypress gets on the board in the bottom of the 5th.
First pitch swung on deep to center field. Orduno back on the track.
Goner.
It's gone.
Wow.
To straightaway center. Well, sometimes we talk about the deepest part of the ballpark, and usually it's if that had been hit anywhere else, it'd be gone, but they went to the deepest part of the ballpark. Well, forget all that, because Kerry Arboleda goes beyond the deepest part of the ballpark.
Yeah.
Into the trees.
Yeah, Arboleda saying true to his name in Spanish. Went into the trees, and wow. Some serious power. 4-3 OCC. Well, it's not spelled, I think it's with a D. Arbolitas is like little trees.
Uh-huh. Oh, all right.
I think.
You know, I have the greatest appreciation when you flash the bilingual. So Merkin greeted most rudely as Arboleda goes yard, and Orange Coast grabs their first lead of the day at 4-3 here in the top of the 6th. Wow. You don't want to get one out over the plate. Arboleda already hit number 15 on the season in 24 at-bats. Meanwhile, it's 3-0 on Nolan Funky, who's 1 for 2. Yeah, Arboleda is just a second-year freshman. So last year, came to the program, had an outstanding abbreviated 2020 season. He transferred to Cal Santa Barbara. And how about this? Didn't get much playing time. Well, what kind of lineup must that be? And Arboleda elects to transfer back and resume here at Orange Coast, and he'll look ahead and make another decision about where he'd like to go next. And the report that we got, in addition to the gaudy numbers from Nate Johnson, is that Arboleda is very strong. Well, that seems about right, based on what we've seen. I'm going to go ahead and concur. But yeah, this was a guy who already made the move to the 4-year at UCSB and just ultimately felt that it wasn't the right fit for him. So he's come back to Orange Coast. But certainly we'll be getting a lot of looks to head to another school at a certain point. But he's just a freshman right now in the Pirate lineup. They are certainly most delighted to have him there. 2 balls and a strike now. Count on Guy with a runner at first, still nobody out at the top of the 6th. And Orange Coast now out in front, 4-3.
You know who wasn't delighted to have him here? Nick Merkin.
No. And Nick Merkin was like, you could have stayed at UCLA.
Fair ball.
Past a diving Joe Yost down the line. Another hit for Orange Coast. On the play, Funky advances to third. Guy will hold it first with a single. Let's watch the replay here. And this is a well-hit ball from Guy. And in between Yost and the line. And this is good base running from Funky, who gets a great jump as that ball's right down the left field line, and Manzo's on it quickly. So that's not an automatic that you're going to get from first to third on that hit, but Funky with the good jump and digging hard all the way makes it to third. So runners at the corners and the Pirates, who can put them up on the board so very quickly, already have 2 in this inning, still nobody out, and they're threatening with O'Halloran, who went deep his last time up. A ball and no strikes. Is that right, or is it 0-1, Michael?
1-1 now.
1 and.
I have 1-1 on the board.
Yep. Okay. So a ball and a strike on O'Halloran. A solo shot his last time up. He's 1 for 2. Just 9 at bats on the season now, and another one of the heavy bats in the Pirate lineup. Sure, something of a fun daily challenge for Nate Johnson to try and spread the at-bats around. A lot of guys that he'd like to get into the lineup if he could. A ball and 2 strikes. On O'Halloran with Ricky Teal waiting on deck. Merkin. And a jam. His own making. He came on to face Arboleda, gave up the home run, but has gone on to walk Funky and give up the base hit to Guy. On the inside corner, doesn't get the call. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Wow. From a lefty. I understand not getting that call from a righty, but from a lefty, I mean, you have to imagine that the angle is he's coming over the plate with that pitch.
Yeah, absolutely. And seemed fairly generous on the inside corner. Breaking ball got him. And on the play, O'Halloran going to try to head down to first, but with Guy already there, that'll just go down as a strikeout. No throw needed. And that's a great adjustment by Merkin. Goes to the breaking ball, fools O'Halloran, and gets the strikeout. That'll bring up Teal with runners still at the corners and 1 down.
No, second and third now. Looks like
okay, so yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Michael. Brendan Guy did advance to second, so it's second and third. And that's a great job by Guy to stay alert to the situation.
Yep.
With the third strike, that one gets away from Galinas behind the plate, and Guy able to move himself into scoring position and take away the double play. High and tight to Teal. And did he make contact? It looks preliminarily like he did. They'll go to first to get him, and let's sort out and make sure we've got the call here. This was high and inside to Teal, who was trying to get out of the way of the ball, but I think ultimately managed to get the bunt down. Yeah, that's unbelievable. As Teal, maybe playing defense as much as anything else, gets the bat up, and actually gets the bunt down and in fair territory. The squeeze works, and Orange Coast now leads at 5-3 on the play. Guy moves from second to third. So it's a successful sacrifice for Teal. And a bit of good fortune to avoid any kind of injury as that ball was heading up and in. The play by Ricky Teal. 3 in the inning. A ball and a strike now on Tyler Weaver, who's 0 for 3. He's popped out twice and flied out.
Floodgates opening in Fullerton. Irvine Valley now up 11-2 in the top of the fourth.
2 balls and a strike. Now the count on Weaver with Baltruitt waiting on deck. Floodgates have opened up at least a little bit here for the Pirates, who have 3 in the inning. And they have grabbed a 5-3 lead. Just outside for a ball.
Wow.
And again, this one just outside. And that's the call that we've been getting all day from Chris Mayer. So he has not wavered on that outside corner. Line drive, left field. It's a base hit. And the Pirates with another run as it gets away from Manzo. And that will allow Weaver to advance to second. So this should go down as a base hit and an error. There's a little bit of trouble for Manzo on the big hop. It just pops out, and that's good alert base running from Weaver, who ends up at second.
2 outs, Matt. Matt Henson on scoreboard today. Remote from Arizona.
Yeah, we're all over the place, aren't we?
Yeah.
And I mean that in a good way, not in the normal way. 4-run inning for Orange Coast, and now Weaver at second for Baltruitt. 2-run homer from Arboleda gave Orange Coast the lead, but they've gone on to plate a couple more. A base hit here could bring in another one. On the ground to second, big hop for McGran. And the Rustlers finally out of the inning, but not before the Pirates get some work done. 4 runs on 3 hits, 1 error, and 1 left on base. We're heading to the bottom of the 6th. Orange Coast grabs the 6-3 lead. It's Golden West College baseball here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Michael Rylick has his first lead of the day. You know, it's fascinating. You go back to the scouting report we got on Michael Rylick, the left-handed starter for Orange Coast, and Nate Johnson talking about the senior leader, the sophomore, I should say, leadership that he provides on this team as a third-year player in the program. And talking about how the numbers don't really leap out at you as this one is driven way back to left. Forget about this one, it's gone. Andel Volge. slider out over the plate, and Ando Volchi gets those arms extended. That's a shot that's got a chance to break a window, as that is way out of here. Some kind of power for Ando Volchi. We'll talk about ruining a story. I start to talk about how Riley, the scouting report that we got was that the numbers didn't really leap out at you, but that he was pitching very, very well, and he was just making one or two bad pitches at a time, and that was accounting for the runs. But that overall, they were delighted with how he was pitching through the first two starts. And you look, and this game today was a great example of it, as Boyd lifts this one to left field. Under it is Teal, and he's got this one for out number one. And you look back at this start, and sure enough, Riley through 5 innings had allowed the 3 runs, but 2 of those had come on the 1 mistake to Galinas. And it looked like a very typical Michael Riley start here in 2021, where he had done the job and really just had 1 mistake come back to bite him in the start. Well, I guess make that 2 mistakes, as he got one out over the plate to Ando Volchi, and he took it out. But here he is in the 6th with the 6-4 lead. A little bit low, they'll appeal down and see if Galena went around. A little bit low, 2 balls and a strike on Galena, who's 1 for 1, a home run. He's also walked the 2-run shot back in the first. 6-4 game here in the bottom of the 6th. Wave and a miss at the slider. Count evened up, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, this has been a fun one. 4 home runs now in the game, I believe, between the 2 teams, if memory serves. Seen some great plays in the field as well. And a 2-run ball game here in the bottom of the 6th. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Galena, with Joe Yost waiting on deck. Again, we're going to keep you up to date on some of the latest scores from elsewhere in the Orange Empire Conference.
Cypress ties it up.
I should say 1 hopper in there, and ball 4 for Galena. So a 1-out walk. Joe Yost gets Valley's 0 for 2. Need Mount Sac and Irvine Valley with the big leads in their games. Saddleback and Cypress battling at the top of the Orange Empire Conference, and they're tied at 3. Brendan Guy going to come out and talk to Michael Riley. 1 down in the 6th. Joe Yost struck out and flied out, due up.
Yeah, Coach Matt's going to come out, and are they going to go to the pen? They are. That'll do it for Riley.
Come back and tell you about the new Pirate pitcher. In just a moment, you're watching Golden West College Baseball on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Right-hander Justin Goldstein on to replace Rylick here in the bottom of the 6th with 1 on and a runner at first. And Joe Yost coming to the plate.
Looks like Zane Parmenter will be coming in for Yost.
So Zane Parmenter due up then, replacing Yost. There is a look at Justin Goldstein.
There's a look at Zane.
In his freshman season out of Beckman High School, and there is Parmenter. Taking in from the right side. Goldstein ready, the first pitch. Swung on and through on the right side for a base hit. The hit and run works to perfection. A little trouble in right, but Arboleda up with it and gets it back in. But Parmenter with the hit and run single, and now Golden West with the runners at the corners. And only 1 out, and Evan Manzo due up.
Manzo will be pinch hit for by Sergio Alfaro.
So Alfaro will come on to replace Manzo. He's got a huge opportunity here with runners at the corners, 1 down. Alfaro on the season 3 for 13. Primarily playing in left, a little bit of right field as well. Goldstein, a bounce back from the University of Oregon. Again, works the fastball slider combination for the most part. That one misses low and away.
And there goes the runner. Parmenter to second.
Parmenter able to swipe second without a throw.
So you take away the double play ball.
I think, yeah, not really paying much attention to Parmenter. And Parmenter puts the tying run in scoring position with 1 down. Check swing. He didn't go around. 2 balls and no strikes on Sergio Alfaro. Goldstein from the stretch. Here's the pitch inside for a ball. 3 balls and no strikes. Rustlers trying to bounce back after they gave away the lead in the top of the inning. They've already got a run in. In for a strike. 3-1 now on Alfaro. Christian Lamar due up next. Goldstein from the belt. Here's the pitch. Line drive center field, but playable for Martinez. The runners will hold. Well, I know this is going to come as a galloping shock to you, but the book on Martinez of the mid-90s fastball is that he's got a pretty good arm in center field. So they won't challenge the arm of Martinez.
Yeah, don't run on that guy.
Will take their chances with 2 down with Lamar at the plate. Lamar is 0 for 2. He's grounded out twice. A base hit to the outfield here. Could tie it up. Fastball low. Well, that got to Martinez quickly, but a tough spot for the Rustlers now. Now Martinez has to come up with a base hit. A little late on the fastball from Goldstein. Can't even up it a ball in a strike. There is Christian Lamar. 1-1 pitch from Goldstein in the dirt. But blocked nicely by Guy, who keeps it in front. The runners have to stay put. So key. So how often do you see it? Michael, runner at third, 2 down, and the pressure behind the plate. Keep that ball in front. So easy to let one get back to the backstop, and then it's all for nothing as the run comes home to score anyway. Great job by Brendan Guy. 2-1 on Lamar. Fly ball down the right field line. A long run and running out of room is Arboleda. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Another opportunity for Lamar. And see how Goldstein elects to work. Galena at third, Parmenter at second. 2-2 pitch. In the dirt, this one does get by Guy, and here comes Galena. Six to 5 after the wild pitch.
Six five there, Matty.
On the play, Parmenter does advance to third as well. So now, for Lamar, any old kind of a hit will do it.
6-5 OCC with the lead, Matt.
Rustlers looking to tie it up here in the bottom of the 6th. Center field, Martinez there. And he will bring it in to retire the side. But Golden West gets a couple back. 2 runs on 2 hits. No errors, 1 left on base. The Andel Volge home run, pulling the Rustlers a little bit closer. We head to the 7th. It's Rustler Baseball on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Top of the 7th inning. And Michael, perhaps you can correct me, but I am assuming that we have Zane Parmenter now at short and Steven Casas moving to third with Alfaro in left, and we'll try to confirm that those were the changes. 1 ball and no strikes on David Morgan.
I have Parmenter at third. Excuse me here, Jeff.
So Casas remains at short. Okay. Ripped into left field. This will be extra bases for Morgan. Alfaro will get it back in, but it's a leadoff double for Morgan, who hits it on the screws. And the leadoff man aboard. Okay, so Zane Parmenter at third. And Steven Casas. That'll bring up Martinez. 0 for 1, struck out. He's walked twice. Merkin trying to hold the Pirates right here. It's a 1-run lead for Orange Coast in the top of the 7th inning. Already 3 1-run games for Golden West. in 2021. And this shaping up to be another tight one. Lined into right field, Boyd over to cut it off. Morgan rounding third. He will score easily. Boyd with a little bit of trouble. And that will allow Martinez to advance to second. It should go down as a single, I believe, and that will be an error on Boyd to allow Martinez to advance to second. And Orange Coast with a 7-5 lead as Morgan and Martinez team up with a couple of hits and push the lead back out to 2. That'll bring up Arboleda. Delivered a moonshot his last time up to straightaway center. 1 ball and no strikes. He's 2 for 3 in the game. A double and a home run, a couple of runs batted in. Already with 15 hits on this young season. Merkin misses low and away. 2 balls and no strikes.
We'll go back to the home run from earlier, side by side. Just an absolute shot.
Now 6 games in a row in which Arboleda, unsurprisingly, has had 2 or more hits, with the 2 today. Yeah. He was thinking about home run number 2 today on that swing, but he comes up empty. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, he was thinking about
Kerry Arboleda.
Thinking about sending that into Anaheim.
Let me see if I can hit this one further than that last one. I think I can get more distance. 1-1. Merkin checks the runner. Here's the pitch. Low and away. 2 balls and a strike.
I have it at 3-1.
Okay, so we'll update the scoreboard. 3 balls and a strike on Arboleda, and you have to imagine that he's got the green light here if he gets one he likes. Merkin ready. Here's the pitch.
Uh-oh.
Driven to deep center again. Orduño moving back
Goner
on the track. This one's gone. And in a similar spot. I think that one
dead center.
Was about 5 feet to the left of the 417 sign. That one went over about 5 feet to the right of the 417 sign.
Well, Arboleda doing his best Pedro Serrano imitation here today. 2 home runs now, and this one an absolute bomb straightaway center. We'll see it here. Boom.
And it looked like Merkin just tried to get the fastball in there. Didn't want to put him on. And again, Arboleda gets those arms extended. It was out over the plate. And there's just no doubt, there's just not many parks in the world that are going to hold it. I mean, that one was over the 417 sign. That's a shot. 2 home runs for Arboleda in the game. The lead is now 9-5. Just that quickly, Orange Coast pushes it back out to a 4-run cushion. Well, we alluded to it a little bit earlier, Michael, and it's just constant pressure up and down the lineup.
Yeah.
So many dangerous bats, and as a pitcher, you just consistently have to be so fine. And as that one gets a piece of Funky, he will head down to first. Still nobody out here in the top of the 7th. And we've seen it already a couple of times in this game. You absolutely cannot afford to just groove one on this lineup. You get one over, and up and down this lineup, they are looking to take it out if they can.
Activity in the bullpen for the Rustlers. No outs here, top of the 7th, 9-5.
So Merkin will remain in the game for now, and Brendan Guy will be the batter. He's 1 for 3. A single, a strikeout, a line out in 3 trips. been the Kerry Arboleda show. Good fastball from Merkin. And, Merkin's shown some of the breaking ball and change to the pitchers, but when he's reared back and delivered the fastball, he's been able to, I think, have the Pirate hitter somewhat off balance. There he was able to just throw it by Guy, and now he places one at the knees for strike two. No balls and 2 strikes quickly on Guy. Pirates at the plate in the top of the 7th. Quick throw over to first. Breaking ball, foul back. Brendan Guy, another of the third-year freshmen, and a player that made the move from first base to back behind the plate for the Pirates. Give them a little bit of help. He's down on strikes here as he goes after the high fastball from Merkin. 1 down. And Ryan O'Halloran will be the batter. He's 1 for 3. He homered back in the 4th. Good lead at first for Funky. And a good fastball over for a strike for Merkin. O'Halloran, another one of the names that came up talking about the deep bench and some guys who might be in the designated hitter spot. He's in the lineup at first. And as a third-year player, he was on the 2019 championship team. He's got an extra base hit here. The runner rounds third. They're going to send Funky, and he will score standing up as O'Halloran ends up at third with a triple. So a veteran of the championship team and back into the fold here in 2021. And he comes up with an RBI triple, and the lead is now 10-5.
Pitching change.
Towards the tail end, and we will have a change on the mound. That'll be it for Nick Merkin. We'll come back and tell you about the new pitcher here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. It's Rustler Baseball. Right-hander Steven Salazar will take over for Golden West as Nick Merkin goes an inning and a third and gives way with a runner at third and 1 down. And Orange Coast leading at 10-5. For Salazar, this will be his second appearance in 1 2/3 innings. He's allowed 1 hit, 1 walk, struck out 3, an ERA of 10.80. He comes on to face Ricky Teal, who's 0 for 1, fly to center. He's been hit by a pitch and had a successful sacrifice. First pitch swung on, it's through for a base hit, and Orange Coast will tack on another one. The lead now 11-5. As the Pirate bats have broken through. So the Rustlers had pulled back within 1. But a 5 spot on the board in the top of the 7th. And Orange Coast back out to a comfortable margin in the dirt, blocked by Galinas. Teal will remain at first. 1 ball and no strikes on Tyler Weaver, who is 1 for 4. A base hit his last time up. Teal with great speed at first. He'll be held on by Lamar. Fastball from Salazar over for a strike. Salazar from the belt, back to the screen. 1 and 2 on Weaver. Baltruitt waiting on deck, and there is Gary Arboleda, who has had himself a day. 3 hits, 2 home runs, a double, 4 runs batted in. And he has been a one-man wrecking crew, if ever that term were appropriate. On the ground to third, Parmenter will go across to get Weaver on the play. Teal does advance to second. 2 down. And that'll bring up Baltruitt as the Pirates have batted around here in the 7th. Baltruitt 1 for 3, a single and a walk. He's got Teal at second with 2 down. Fly ball center field. Orduño there to retire the side, but not before the Pirates put 5 on the board on 5 hits, 1 error, 1 left on base. 7th inning stretch from Huntington Beach, and Orange Coast with an 11-5 lead over Golden West. It's Rustler baseball. Justin Goldstein remains in the game after taking over from Rylick in the 6th inning. He will go to work on a pinch hitter for Gunnar McGran, I believe. Michael, can you confirm that for me?
No, I think it is McGran.
Okay, so it is McGran's play. Thank you. Breaking ball misses inside. McGran 0 for 1. He struck out and walked in 2 trips. He'll be followed by Casas and Orduño. Golden West had an early 3-0 lead. But the Pirate Bats have come all the way back. 11 on the board, and they now lead at 11-5. 1-1. Line drive into left for a base hit. McGran with a leadoff single. That'll bring up Casas. Casas 1 for 3. Stephen Casas played ball last year at Cal State LA. We're coming back to Golden West. One of many, many players up and down this Golden West roster who played at different schools a year ago. Coming to Golden West to reset things here in 2021. No balls and a strike. McGran with a good lead at first. Outside for a ball. Casas at short today. He's played much of the season at third as they'll throw over and McGran back. But Stephen Casas very comfortable at third, short, or second. And today moves to shortstop, and he's been solid. Here's the 1-1. In the dirt, 2-1. Snap, throw down, and now McGran breaks for second, and they got him hung up. And eventually, it's O'Halloran who puts the tag on him at first. You watch the tail end here on the replay, and a good job, good execution, and they get McGran. So the base runner erased as McGran gets caught up between first and second. Goldstein ready. Curveball outside for ball 3. 3 balls and a strike on Casas. Here's the pitch. Inside for ball 4. Well, now the base running miscue becomes a little more of a factor. Instead of 2 on and nobody out, it's 1 down and Casas at first. And Orduño will be the batter. He's 1 for 3, a double back in the first. Orduño and Boyd, 2 of the hitters for Golden West so far early in this 2021 campaign, who've managed to get off to a little bit faster of a start at the plate. Overall, the Rustlers have struggled somewhat putting runs on the board. Not a terrible surprise when you start out against the top of the conference in your first 3 weeks, but something of a feather in the cap for Orduño, who comes in after playing last year at Oregon. Bounces back here to Golden West, but he's already getting a lot of offers from a number of D1 schools. Popped and playable for Guy, so Orduño retired on the foul out. 2 down. Casas remains at first, and Cole Andovolgi will be the batter, and he had a highlight to be sure for Rustler fans his last time up. A long home run, well over the left field wall. No doubter for Andovolgi. It was just his 3rd hit on the season, as that one's in the dirt. Casas is going to remain at first, and you just know with some of these bats for Golden West that it doesn't matter who they're playing. Too much talent here, and these guys are going to start hitting.
We go back to the home run from Cole.
That one up and over the scoreboard. If there'd been a bull out there, he would have hit it.
Fact.
Get himself a free steak.
He
2
went,
balls and no strike.
he went to the Hoover Field sign.
And Volge. Let's see if maybe that'll break Cole out of a little bit of a funk here in the last few games. It's got to feel good, no doubt. So 3 balls and no strikes. He's way ahead here with Casas at first and 2 down. Boyd would be next. The Rustlers can keep it going.
Man.
Low and away for a ball. 2 on, 2 out, and that'll bring up Boyd. A reminder for our schedule for the rest of the week. Thursday, we will have baseball again. Same 2 teams. 2 o'clock start. And then Friday will be Rustlers softball. Also taking on Orange Coast. That'll be doubleheader coverage. And Mike, if memory serves, that starts at 1 o'clock.
I think it's noon on Friday.
Okay. In the dirt, guy able to keep it in front. Casas not going to chance it at first. Boyd is 1 for 2, a single and a sacrifice fly. 1 run batted in. Boyd played a year ago at the University of Nevada. Should say played in 2019 at the University of Nevada. Was battling some injuries a year ago. Inside for a ball.
They just love to get Galena on here. At a bases loaded situation. He's gone yard 2 games in a row. 1 earlier today. Went yard versus Saddleback.
Staying with Julian Boyd. He's already getting some interest as well from some teams in the Pac-12, Big West, the Mountain West, and certainly from what we've seen in our coverage, that's not a big surprise. He is swinging the bat well. 3 balls and no strikes now the count. So Goldstein being pretty careful with these Rustler hitters, even though he's got a 6-run lead in the bottom of the 7th. He just walked Andel Volche, and he's way behind Boyd. And as you pointed out, Michael, very dangerous hitter waiting on deck. And that one back to the screen. A walk for Boyd, and now he's loaded him up for Galena, who's homered in each of his last 2 games. Well, 1 swing of the bat here, and it's potentially very much a ball game again. So Guy is going to come out and talk to Goldstein as you see some activity in the Orange Coast bullpen. And it looks like Jonathan Robinson, the right-hander, up and throwing. Well, we may have some drama here yet, here in the bottom of the 7th. Cypress has broken it open against Saddleback. At Cypress, they now lead an 8-3 in the bottom of the 8th. So here is Galena. A home run back in the 1st. He's walked twice. First pitch, a good fastball for a strike. 0-1 for Galena. No place to put him with the bases loaded. 2 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Way outside for a ball. 1-1. Galena, one of the few players in the lineup for Golden West who played right here at Golden West a year ago. He returns. Behind the plate today, good curveball in for a strike. Goldstein flashes the breaking ball. We haven't seen a whole lot of that in this outing for Goldstein, and it froze Galena. The Pirates 1 strike away, getting themselves out of the inning. 1-2 on Galena. Galena will ask for time. St. Parmenter would be next. Goldstein kicks and deals inside, and
hit
they
him.
did get a piece of Galena. So Galena hit by the pitch, and Goldstein, who had 2 strikes on him, ends up losing him.
Wow.
Rustlers pull within 11-6. They're still loaded, and that will bring up Zane Parmenter. Parmenter on to replace Joe Yost at third.
Here comes Robinson.
And he had a base hit his last time up, and that will do it for Justin Goldstein. They will make the move to Jonathan Robinson. Will come back and tell you about the new pitcher. You're watching Rustler Baseball on SoCalCollegeSports.com.
Story there?
Yes, sir.
Jonathan Robinson. Slider at 80. Fastball at 88.
Making his 3rd appearance of the season. No record, 4 innings of work, no hits allowed, walked 6, struck out 6. The ERA of 2.25. He does have 1 save.
A lot of movement.
And this, I believe, would qualify as another save opportunity. Parmenter will be the batter. Robinson comes in with the bases loaded and 2 down. First pitch. Parmenter fouls it back and out of play. No balls and a strike. Yeah, in 4 innings, no hits. But he's walked 6 and struck out 6. So I would say, yeah, the evidence is there that the ball's going to move some. See how he works to Parmenter at a base hit his last time up.
Wow.
Outside for a ball, 1 ball and 1 strike. And again, that's that outside corner. And
Yeah, that was out.
all day, that pitch has been a ball. So 1-1 on Parmenter. Robinson ready. Here's the pitch. Outside, this one gets away from Guy, but the runner's not going to advance. So Andel Volgi at third elects not to chance it. Boyd at second, Galena at first. And the count 2 balls and 2 strikes on Zane Parmenter. Parmenter now 4 for 14 at the plate on the season. What an opportunity here to keep things alive and try to draw the Rustlers closer. 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed.
2-1, I believe.
Okay, so, all right. Yeah, now it is 2-2. Apologies. Now everything looks right. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here in the bottom of the 7th. Robinson ready. Here's the pitch. Back to the screen. Sergio Alfaro on deck for Golden West. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball. This one gets away from Guy, and the runners will advance. A run comes home as Andel Volge scores easily on the wild pitch from Robinson. And now a base hit from Parmenter can get it all the way back to 11-9 potentially. Boyd at third. Galena at second. 3-2 pitch. Low
Walked
for a
him.
ball.
Good call.
So Parmenter's been on both times he's been up. And now it's Alfaro with a chance to be a hero for Golden West, representing the potential tying run in an 11-7 game. Alfaro flied to center as he came on to pinch hit for Evan Manzo in the 6th. Robinson from the stretch. Here's the pitch. He had a cut. No balls and a strike. Well, he was thinking about 11-11. Robinson kicks and delivers. Fouled out of play, and Alfaro now down in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. Talked about Robinson in the fastball. About 89 or 90 to go along with the slider. A bounce back from Biola a year ago. And along with Goldstein teaming up to be the closer for the Pirates here in 2021, trying to close the door here. Alfaro gets a piece. Sergio Alfaro out of Tustin High School.
Tiller.
In his sophomore season. Here's the 0-2. That one gets away again. Back to the screen. Boyd scores easily. A pair of wild pitches. And the Rustlers are slowly getting themselves back into the game. And they haven't even really needed to hit the ball much, at least not in the last few minutes. (11-8). Still runners at second and third, with Galena at third now and Parmenter at second. 0-2 on Alfaro. 1 ball and 2 strikes. We've seen Guy have a busy day back behind the plate, but he's been pretty good for the first 2 pitchers. But it just goes to show him, like, every pitcher's a little bit different, and he seems to be having a lot of difficulty dealing with the stuff from Robinson. Alfaro goes after the high fastball. He's down on strikes, and the Rustlers done here in the 7th, but they do score 3 on 1 hit. No errors, a couple left on base. Through 7 complete, Orange Coast now leading it 11-8. You're watching Golden West College Baseball here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Top of the 8th inning. From Golden West College with Orange Coast leading it 11-8. Steven Salazar continues on the mound. He will work to David Morgan to lead things off. Curveball outside for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. Morgan doubled his last time up, came around to score. He's 1 for 3 in the game. Going to try to give you a look here for a half inning from a few different angles. In our 3-camera shot, curveball outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Salazar kicks and delivers. Fly ball, deep center field. Orduño at the track, and he has room to retire Morgan. So Morgan gives it a ride, but the park will hold it. 1 down, and that'll bring up Chaz Martinez, who's 1 for 2, singled and walked twice in 4 trips. Meanwhile, we're going to have a quick timeout, and we're going to come out to the mound to talk to Salazar. Chaz Martinez, who's already committed to TCU, in just his 2nd year, still a freshman at Orange Coast. He had originally transferred back to Orange Coast after initially going to Cal Santa Barbara, but he has returned and now looks ahead to continuing at TCU next year. Well, we do have a pitching change as the Mike Cepeda has returned. And Mike, is this a change from the bullpen or a change in the field? I see we have a new pitcher.
Yeah, Ibarra.
So Ibarra comes on to replace Salazar, who goes 1 inning, retiring 3 of the 4 batters he faced. He leaves with 1 out and the base is empty. And Chaz Martinez at the plate. Meanwhile, for Ibarra, his 4th appearance of the season. 3 1/3. He's allowed 9 hits, walked 1, struck out 3. An ERA of 18.9. Comes on here and quickly gets ahead, no balls and a strike on Martinez. Ibarra ready. Line drive on one hop. It's McGran who goes to first, but not in time. It'll end up being an infield hit as Ibarra is able to get that one off the end of the bat of Martinez, but in a tough spot, no chance for McGran. And Martinez hustling down as an infield single. Well, that was a little bit like a ball that we saw back, I want to say, in the second inning. It was a good pitch by Ibarra. It just ended up being in a tough spot. And McGran elects to take it on one hop. Breaking ball from Ibarra low for a ball. So 1 on. And here is Kerry Arboleda. 3 for 4 on the day. A pair of home runs. 4 runs batted in. He comes on here with Martinez at first. Let's see if Ibarra can fare any better than did Turner and Merkin. Certainly Merkin had his struggles with Arboleda. Both the home runs came off Nick Merkin, and 1-1. And that's a tough assignment, Michael, for Arboleda for a left-handed pitcher. Strong, quick right-handed bat. It's going to be a tough job for a left-hander trying to work to him. Ibarra ready. Here's the 1-1.
Wow.
And he tried to hold up, and he did. So 2 balls and a strike. That's great bat control. Like a slider from Ibarra. Merkin able to lay off. 2-1, and I think a good call. Slow curve in for a strike. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Watch this one again, and Arboleda definitely fooled. And Ibarra gets the call, so 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now on Kerry Arboleda. Ibarra ready, here's the pitch. Lined into left field. This is going to get to the wall. It's another extra base hit for Arboleda. They will wave him to third. He'll end up there. It's an RBI triple. I got to tell you off the bat, this didn't even necessarily look like he got all of this one.
No, I mean, it was a rocket shot.
Carry.
Yeah.
And it gets all the way to the wall. Martinez able to score standing up, and Arboleda flashes some pretty good wheels as he gets all the way to third. Well, we almost had a cycle last week, Michael. If they can get Arboleda to the plate one more time, he only needs the single. And Arboleda, man, what a day. 4 for 5. The scary thing is it's not that big of a departure from what he's been doing all season long. If you look at the numbers in the game log, it's multi-hits and extra base hits and runs batted in, up and down, all season long. 1 ball and no strikes on Funky, who's 1 for 2. He's also walked and been hit by a pitch. Outside, 2 balls and no strikes. (12-8). Orange Ghost with the lead here in the top of the 8th. That's a shot, but right to the second baseman, McGran, for out number 2. Arboleda able to get back to third, so no double play. Funky hits it hard, but McGran able to take that one for out number 2. Well, it was hit hard, but right at McGran. So we'll break for the Rustlers, and now with Brendan Guy due up. And we do have a pinch hitter for Orange Ghost. It is Garrett Bavacqua. So Bavacqua will pinch hit for Brendan Guy. In for a strike.
There's one on the outside half.
And Ibarra now 1 out away from getting out of the jam. The runner at third. Bavacqua was 2 for 7 on the season with a home run. So more power in this Orange Coast lineup. outside for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike on Garrett Bavacqua. I have to wonder, somewhat aloud, if he is any relation to former Major Leaguer Kurt Bavacqua. It's just not a name you hear all the time. Outside for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. Garrett Bavacqua. Hit bar already. Here's the pitch. Good fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Arboleda at third with 2 down. Fouled out of play. Garrett Bavacqua out of La Costa Canyon High School, a freshman for Orange Coast. Interesting times. You talk about a freshman for these teams. It could be first year, second year, third year. Even at the school, you just don't really know. Line through on the right side. A 2-out RBI single for Garrett Bavacqua. And Orange Coast now back out in front by 5 at 13-8. Good piece of hitting from Garrett Bavacqua, and he's got to run batted in. 2 on the board for Orange Coast here in the top of the 8th. Oh, it was a pretty good pitcher's duel between Turner and Rylick for the first 5 or 6 innings. And then really the bats have taken over for both teams. But especially for Orange Coast, they have really poured it on here in the 6th, 7th, and 8th innings. Now got 13 on the board. First pitch swung on and fouled back and out of play.
O'Halloran with a home run and a triple.
That's right, 2 for 4. Couple of runs scored, couple of runs batted in. Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it, with 13 runs on the board? Some of the other guys who've had some pretty good days at the plate, and it's hard to even get to it with the kind of day that Kerry Arboleda has had. Almost feels like he's done it all by himself. Shallow right, Boyd under it, and has it. That'll retire the side. But Orange Coast adds 2 on 3 hits, no errors, 1 left on base, heading to the bottom of the 8th. Orange Coast on top of Golden West, 13-8. It's Rustler Baseball on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Bottom of the 8th inning.
Chris Ortiz, new catcher.
Chris Ortiz now behind the plate as the Rustlers come to bat, trailing it by 5. It'll be Christian Lamar, Gunnar McGran, and the top of the order, Steven Casas. Due up, Lamar 0 for 3 on the day, grounded out twice and flied out. Jonathan Robinson continues on the mound for the Pirates. And the fastball over for a strike. 0-1 on Lamar. play on the right side. Lamar in a hole now, no balls and 2 strikes. Well, the Rustler bats have come to life, certainly. Here today, one of their best offensive performances, the second most runs that they put up in a game this season. But unfortunately for Rustler fans, they have run into something of a buzzsaw here in this Pirate lineup that has put a 13 spot on the board, and they lead it 13-8 here in the bottom of the 8th. 1 and 2 on Lamar in the dirt. Outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes on Lamar. Lamar came into action today, 4 for 15 at the plate, but he's had a quiet day. Going 0 for 3 as he fouls that one straight back. Full count. Update you on some of the scores, and IBC continues to pour it on. They're all over Fullerton. Cypress with the 8-3 win over Saddleback, low for a ball. And there you see the Mount Sac Santa Ana score. A 13-2 lead, so the Mounties well on their way in the top of the 9th to a win. Move them to 4 and 5 on the season. So a leadoff walk for Lamar. That'll bring up McGran. First pitch, a strike, no balls and a strike on McGran. In the lineup today at second base. Got a few different guys in the fold. A crowded infield for Golden West. Now no balls and 2 strikes on McGran. Fouled away again. Robinson ready.
Fair ball.
Left field line. It's a fair ball. This is going to be a hit for McGran. Lamar rounding second. He'll head to third. It's a double for Gunnar McGran. 2 hits for Gunnar today. He's now 2 for 3. And this just a great example of good placement, as well as McGran inside outs this one up the left field line. Long run, and there's no way that Teal's going to get there. And it ends up as a double for McGran. 2 on, nobody out. Steven Casas will be the batter. Bottom of the 8th. Still a 5-run game. Not over yet. Casas had a cut. No balls and a strike. He's 1 for 3. Single in the first. He walked his last time up. Coming up, it's the meat of the Golden West order. At the knees, and Robinson way out in front now. No balls and 2 strikes. Well, one of the things they're really liking about Steven Casas for Golden West is he's Some good plate discipline. He's in a tough spot here, 0-2 against Robinson. As that one gets by Ortiz, the runners will move up. Another runner will score. That's a third wild pitch on Robinson. Really having some control issues, and it's a long day first for Brendan Guy, and now for Ortiz behind the plate. So Lamar scores. Now it's a runner at third as we give you a look from a couple of different angles. Back to a 4-run game. 1-2. Sharply hit. It's through for a base hit. That's an RBI single for Casas. And now it's 13-10. LeGrand comes home to score. Good piece of hitting with 2 strikes, and Casas, as advertised, excellent plate discipline with 2 strikes. It's a great job taking that one the opposite way and into right field for a base hit. And the Rustlers refuse to go away. Now it's 13-10. Still nobody out in the bottom of the 8th. That'll bring up Orduño, who's 1 for 4. A double back in the first. Fastball high for Robinson. 1 ball and no strikes. Well, you gotta love the way that the Rustlers battle. We have covered it here for the first couple weeks of the season, and there's just no quit. This lineup on the field, and they're continuing to battle here, and hey, with nobody out in the bottom of the 8th, it's just a 3-run game.
Go back to the Santa Ana game. We're down 8-1, is that right?
Yep, 8-1. Came all the way back to 8-7. Had a chance in the 9th and just ran out of time. The Dons able to finish them off. That was a really tough series for Golden West, as Orduño's way ahead now, 3-0. It was 3 out of 4 for the Dons, but all 3 wins for the Dons in that series were by 1 run. Talk about a series where it could have been a different result. Three and 0. Way outside. It's a walk for Orduño.
Activity in the bullpen. That might be it.
Still nobody out. And Robinson really struggling since he has come on.
And here comes Coach Matz.
Yeah, it's going to be Brennan Farber in the bullpen, and going to see if this is going to be it for Robinson. Have they made the move yet, Michael?
They have.
Yep. So it'll be Brendan Farber. We'll come back and tell you about the new Pirate pitcher. When we return, you're watching Rustler Baseball here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. 6'6" right-hander Brennan Farber becomes the 4th pitcher for the Pirates. Farber out of Tesoro High School makes his 2nd appearance of the season. 1 inning for Farber on the season. He's allowed 1 hit, walked 1, struck out 2. ERA of 0. Comes in with 2 on and nobody out to face Cole Andel-Volge. A wheel toward 3rd and no throw. Andel-Volge, a home run back in the 6th. And he represents the potential tying run. Farber ready. Here's the pitch to Andel-Volge. Good fastball over for a strike. We don't have much of a book on Farber. Didn't really get a chance to talk about him in our conversation with Nate Johnson, but you can see the 3/4 motion from that right side. In the lanky frame, he's probably pretty tough on a right-handed hitter. Breaking ball, and Andel-Volge fouls it back to the screen. Quickly now, no balls and 2 strikes.
Andel-Volge went yard earlier today. See that here. And a hole right now.
Up there and out onto, is that Golden West Avenue? I don't think so. I think that's one of the side streets.
That's McFadden.
McFadden it is. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2 strikes. I know the streets around Wrigley Field. Those are the neighborhood streets I know for baseball. I gotta use that one though, because I think you could put one out onto McFadden in this park. You can hit one out onto McFadden Avenue. 1 and 2. Farber with a check of the runners. Here's the pitch. Volge gets a piece to stay alive.
Forget McFadden. Arbolita's been eyeing the 405.
Yeah, you're not completely safe. Farber from the belt. And back to the screen once again. A late break bunt. At second, it's Casas who will advance to 3rd. So 1st and 3rd now. And in a 3-run game, not an insignificant run. With Casas at 3rd, you get yourself to within a couple. The Golden West running out of time in the bottom of the 8th. 1-2 from Farber, and again fouled off.
I have it at 2-2.
Okay, so we'll update the scoreboard quickly. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Andel-Volge, with Boyd waiting on deck.
Oh.
Farber's pitch, breaking ball, got him. Andel-Volge down on strikes. That is a big strikeout potentially.
That's pretty filthy. Watch it from two angles here.
Yeah, just snaps off the hook. And it's pretty tough with 2 strikes. That'll bring up Julian Boyd, who was 1 for 3 with a sacrifice fly. Well, Boyd, over the first couple of weeks, has come up with some timely RBI hits for the Rustlers, and he'll need to come up with another one here if he hopes to keep this inning alive. Excuse me, still only 1 down, so. A little more wiggle room for Julian Boyd. one down, and the runners at the corners. Farber tries the curveball again and misses high. 1 ball and 1 strike.
But a shout out to Jason Kaler, athletic director at Orange Coast.
Absolutely.
We go way back.
Jason, have time to join us? Is he watching? Say hi to you guys.
No, he's watching from home. I asked him about Bavekwa earlier, and he said Tony Altabelli, SID at Orange Coast, had said yes, there was a relation there. And then I asked him if he was watching, and he said no, I'm at tennis. And then I sent him the link, and now he's watching.
Yeah, that knowledge of 70s and 80s baseball players, it comes in handy again. Boy, it's really done me a lot of favors in my life. 1 and 2 on Boyd. Came up with his 10th hit of the season earlier with a base hit.
Ooh. Stays alive.
Reaches out, stays alive. Yeah, that was another breaking ball from Farber. You already saw him get the strikeout on Andovolchi, and even Boyd batting from the left side. Seemed like he had a little trouble picking that one up, but was able to just get the head of the bat out there and keep himself alive. 1 and 2. Line into right. That's a base hit for Boyd, and another run batted in as Casas will score easily. On the play, Orduño able to advance to third, back to a 2-run game at 13-11, and Julian Boyd comes up with another big hit with runners in scoring position. And he's been doing this since the very start of the season, since game 1, when he had a couple of big hits late in that one to key the comeback for Golden West that saw them get all the way back into the game. Ultimately, they fell 8-7, but it was a furious late comeback. As Boyd now with a couple of runs batted in. RBI single makes it 13-11. Still only 1 out. There goes the runner. The throw down to second, not in time. Boyd with a steal of second, and now the tying run is in scoring position with only 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th.
Take away the double play ball with only 1 out here, so just very aggressive on the base paths for Golden West.
And you got, sorry, Michael, you got arguably the guy that you wanted to play.
I was just going to say.
West and Logan Galena, who's still perfect on the day, 1 for 1 with the home run. He's walked twice and been hit by a pitch. And a good cut there, but fouls it back. A ball and a strike on Logan Galena. With Parmenter waiting on deck. But who would have thunk it? I mean, it was 13-8. You thought, can Golden West mount another comeback? But here they are with 3 on the board. Back within 2 runs. And they've got runners at second and third. They won't go away. Breaking ball inside. 2 balls and a strike. Doesn't look like there's any activity in the Pirate bullpen. This is Brennan Farber's game right now. Way inside and back to the screen, and another run will score. Can't say for sure if that will ultimately go down as a wild pitch or a pass ball. It was up and in to Ortiz. But either way, the result is the same for Golden West. Another run on the board as Orduño comes home to score on the wild pitch. Boyd advances to third. Now the potential tying run is just 90 feet away. 2 balls and a strike on Galena. Still only 1 out.
And you maybe think, does Farber get a little hesitant with the breaking stuff, and that's his out pitch.
Absolutely. 2-1, should say 3-1, and now a walk for Galena. who has been on base 4 times, 3 walks and a hit by pitch to go along with the home run. So runners at the corners. And now it's Nate Parmenter. And he's perfect since coming on to replace Joe Yost.
Zane, I believe, had a hit his first time up.
Yeah, had a base hit and a walk in 2 trips. If you're looking for some good news, if you're Orange Ghost, you put Galena on. Now the double play becomes a possibility again with runners at the corners. Parmenter tries to lay this one down back toward the mound, and everybody's going to be safe. Farber was quickly off to get this one, and he looked the runner back, but in doing so, let's watch if we can get the replay one more time here. It looked like ultimately once he looked the runner back at third, Julian Boyd, there was nowhere for him to go with the ball. This should go down as a base hit for Parmenter. See if we can get this one. Yeah, we'll see it here.
Yeah, nobody covering
this one. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, a little bit late. It looked like Weaver was getting over, but either way, Farber felt that he could not make the throw. Now, what's the call here, Mike?
Not entirely sure. I'll see if I can get a clarification from Coach Ramos. Okay. It looked like they were talking about perhaps a fair ball or a foul ball. And let's go back to the replay here.
Yeah, it did look a little awkward when it came off. And you see that was Parmenter kind of getting the feet back. I think that's what looked a little strange, but the call initially was a fair ball. And after a consultation, the call remains fair ball. So Chris Mayer, John Vasiglia get on the same page. And yeah, that's a tough call, but it looks like indeed Parmenter is able to just get out of the way, at least by the way that ball came off as well. So everybody's safe. Still only 1 out. Now they're loaded. And first pitch swung on back to the box. They come home for 1. The throw down to first. And they got the double play. Watch it here. This is a good job by Farber. Comes home, and then the throw from Ortiz just by a half a step.
No way. No way. That's not even close. You see the ball.
Yeah, boy, that is
clear.
That's a clear miss. That's a clear miss.
He's safe right there. The ball's still in midair. And it's still 13-12, and we head to the top of the 9th.
It was Samuel Ooze who was at the plate. Wanted to make sure that we got that out there. And the comebacker, and you see the call. And, boy, in the bottom of the 8th, that is a heartbreaker for Golden West because the video evidence here is pretty clear, as we will show it once again. That's a no-doubter, and that is
safe.
A massive ball.
Man.
And you hate to see that because it has a huge impact potentially on the result of the game, and that's really just unfortunate. And we have the ability, obviously, to slow it down and even freeze it so we can show you in a way that you don't get that luxury when you're calling the game live, of course, but we can obviously show. And unfortunately for Golden West, that is a clear missed call, and the Rustlers robbed of what would have been the tying run and an opportunity to continue batting. It'll go down as a 1-2-3 double play and an Orange Coast lead of 13-12 as we head to the 9th here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Jackson Lapiner will take over on the mound here in the ninth. (13-12) in favor of Orange Coast, and take you back one more time to the play at first,
and the ball's in the air.
Play that ultimately may have a huge impact on the result here in a 13-12 game as we head to the ninth. And of course, it bears repeating that if that call goes in favor of Golden West, as the evidence suggests that it should have, it's a 13-13 game.
Actually,
Golden West is still at the plate with 2 down.
I think it's still 13-12 because they got the force at home for the double.
You're right. You're right. Good catch, Michael. Thank you. No
but the inning would still be alive.
Loaded. Yeah, they would have 2 outs, and it would be 13-12 with the bases still loaded. So that's important. Obviously, Orange Coast would still only be 1 out away from getting out of the inning and still having the lead. But Golden West perhaps robbed of 1 more at bat that they would have had if that call goes their way. Teal, meanwhile, leading things off in the top of the ninth. Is it 2 balls and a strike? Or?
2-0.
2 balls, no strikes on Teal, who's 1 for 2. Called strike. 2 balls and a strike. Teal has been busy, singled, been hit by a pitch, had a sacrifice, a run scored, 2 runs batted in. He'll be followed by the top of the order, Weaver and Baltruitt. Good ball game, popped up. It's Boyd there for out number 1. Well, if you're Golden West, I'd love it if Lapiner could come out here, take care of business the way the Rustlers have been swinging the bat. Gotta like their chances to maybe get something going in the bottom of the ninth. It's just a 1-run game. But the Pirates so dangerous at the plate. Every time that Golden West has started to creep back into it and get themselves back into it, it's Orange Coast that's come back.
Well hit.
He skies this one to left, but he just got under it. Playable now in left for Alfaro. 2 down. I want to correct that. I believe that is Ooze out in left field. Samuel Ooze. As he pinch hit for Alfaro. I don't know. Michael, I know you have good eyes. You can see that far out. But I believe that was a replacement for Alfaro. So Ooze. Either way, it's 2 down. Base is empty, and Baltruitt will be the batter. And Lapiner trying for a quick 1-2-3. Get a look in left field. Can't quite get the number there. One and 0. Baltruitt rips this one, but right to McGrath. Hard hit, but nothing doing. 3 up, 3 down. We head to the bottom of the ninth. The Rustlers trying to come all the way back. 13-12. Heading to the ninth here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Present plain Jane, Yamagini chain, rest in peace to my superior. Hermes, nigga, feed a village in Liberia. TMZ, taking pictures, causing my hysteria. Mama see me on BT and start tearing up. I'm start getting cookies, how you get that drunk? I had to get all the critics when you rest your life. I used to skip work, selling nicks at night. I was only 8 years old, but you always take this right. Bottom of the ninth. Lamar, McGran, and Casas due up for Golden West. They once trailed it 13-8. They got it back to 13-12. But they need at least one to keep it going here in game one, first of 4 between these two teams this week. Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Fastball from Farber over for a strike. Brennan Farber will try to close it out. 4 Orange Ghost. He came on to replace Robinson last inning. Back to the screen, the ball and a strike on Lamar. 0 for 3. I want to quickly correct. I believe it was Lamar that made the catch on the line drive off the bat of Baltruet to end that last inning. He smoked that ball on the right side, but Lamar right there. 2 balls and a strike. And I can make reference to one of my favorite Harry Carey-isms. Isn't it funny how a guy makes a great play in the field and he always seems to lead off the next inning? It's the wisdom of Harry Carey. 3 balls and a strike. And here it is again. Farmer going to take a little extra time and gather himself. Rustlers just batted around last inning. So here it is, Lamar leading it off again, and that's way inside.
Hit him.
And I believe that technically hit him. That was a hit by pitch. That one goes way inside. And either way, Lamar now at first. The leadoff man aboard. We'll have a pinch runner for Golden West. It'll be Mylan Jones who will come on to run for Lamar, and he represents the potential tying run.
Well, they've been so aggressive on the base pass. You have to believe that there's going to be an attempt to steal here.
And McGran's had a good day at the plate. He's 2 for 3 with a walk. Jones away from first. McGran has reached safely his last 3 appearances. Good hole on the right side for the left-handed hitting McGran. A lot of options here, potentially for Drew Ramos. Just outside. 1 ball and no strikes on Gunnar McGran. After McGran, it'll be the top of the order. Casas, Orduno, and Ovolgi. Rustlers trying to come all the way back. McGran squares. Out in front of home plate. Farber gets it to Weaver covering. It's a successful sacrifice for McGran. On the play, Jones advances to second. This is just by a hair. So Jones in scoring position, and here's Casas, who's 2 for 4. A couple of singles, he's walked. He has 3 runs scored in the game. Chance here to potentially drive in what would be the biggest run of the game for Golden West. Farber from the belt. First pitch, curveball, a beauty. Well, that is one pitch that has been quite effective for Brendan Farber. We've seen the curveball buckle the knees of Rustler hitters on a couple of occasions. Oh, and 1 on Casas. Back to the curveball, in there again for a strike. Quick look at the replay here. That's just a good looking hook, Michael.
Yep.
And not an easy one, I imagine, for a right-hander. Again, for the lanky Farber and that 3/4 angle. release point. 0-2, back to the curveball, popped up. Right side and playable in fair territory. Nice job moving back to take that one, and I believe we have a new first baseman.
Jake Lappin.
Yeah, Jake Lappin, and that makes sense in our conversation with Nate Chancey. He talked about Jake Lappin being in the fold at first base, and he is a regular replacement late, and he is fantastic with the glove. So a very solid defensive first baseman. Lappin takes over, and right there, that's a play that he makes look pretty easy. That ball's in the air, twisting back into fair territory. There's a little bit of wind out there. You can hear it, and Lappin able to bring it in. So 2 down, that's a big out. Here is Orduño. Last chance here for the Rustlers. Runner at second. And now 2 down, breaking ball high. One and 0 on Orduño. He's 1 for 4 with a walk in the game. Farber ready. Big swing and a miss from Orduño. 1-1. Farber versus Orduño with the game on the line here in the bottom of the ninth. The 1-1 pitch. Back to the curveball, and again over for a strike. Well, as you said, Michael, it's been his out pitch. Let's see if he goes back to it against Orduño here with a 1-2 count. Back to the curveball. Ground ball to second, over to first, and the Pirates close it out. 13-12 the final. Well, that's another heartbreaker for the Rustlers. What a gritty effort. Came all the way back and even put the tying run again in scoring position in the ninth, but they just cannot get over the hump. And Orange Coast emerges with the win to move to 7-1-1 on the season. And a 13-12 win will take you back through some of the highlights in the Kalina home run earlier. Way out of here to right field. I know Mike will want to get to a couple of quick thank yous for those that helped make it possible here today in our coverage this season, as well as some members of the team as well. So I'll let you maybe jump in with a little bit of that as the replay goes here through some of the highlights from what was a fantastic game, first of 4 for these two teams, and a win for Orange Coast, 13-12.
Yeah, Danny Johnson, athletic director here at Golden West. Also, Tim Bremen, sports information director, had to leave early, and we hope he's doing well. Matt Henson from the house, running the scoreboard
Always
today.
good to have Matt back. Yeah, we went 2 states in this one, bringing Matt in from Arizona. I'm just over to neighboring city. I'm not, but Matt all the way from Arizona.
And we show you some of the highlights, and Arbolito with a huge day, 2 bombs out to center. This is the second one. But man, did Golden West put on a show in getting back into it. And this was the one here.
Yeah, this was worth looking back at. I mean, just a number of great plays.
It's unfortunate that we have to end with this, but fair, because this is a call that obviously impacted the game and the result, and it's a what could have been situation, but 13-12 your final. And thanks to everybody that watched, and we hope to see you on Thursday. Golden West will roll out their stud on the mound, Ricky Tiedemann, and there'll likely be a lot more scouts in the stands as a result, and we'll have Tony Barbone hopefully on the broadcast for some color analyst duties. And Jeff, great job as always, my friend.
You too, buddy. Today's broadcast produced and directed by Mike Cepeda. For everybody here at SoCalCollegeSports.com, thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you on Thursday, everybody.
Smith lost the handle. Palella for three. It's good! And Gusto now will rise up from the 5-meter line and score!
That's a terrific ball, and it's up.
See if he does. Shot us up.
And Baker hits!
But it's on the wall.
Top! Kenny Moore! Whoa!
21, and now it's McCauley who can finish it out. And he gets the ace.
Wilson, here comes the rush.
Wilson on the reception, another touchdown for Tariq Wilson.
Pass centered up, great read by Unke, outside Cruz, tools it.
Looking for Larod down the near side, who's got it inside the 5.
And that's victory number 48 without a loss. And
OTC, your champion in 2019.
To do it. The end of a tough year, San Diego State, once again, the Hawks soaring over all they survey.
We have a new champ. It's Fullerton College, and the Hornets in 2019.